This version of the fair value gap indicator in the ICT style is available for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can access the indicator on the TradingView site. Traders can learn how the indicator works and use it. Search and select the indicator on TradingView to apply it. Add to favorites for quick access. To access the indicator, search and select the indicator. Add to favorites with Add to Favorites. The indicator then identifies and draws IFVG on the chart. For faster and easier access to this indicator, add it to your indicators by activating the Add to Favorites plugin. By placing the indicator on the chart, it starts identifying and drawing the IFVG boundaries or inversion fair value gaps on the price chart. The IFVG boundaries are areas where an FVG level has formed, and after that, the price breaks down through the FVG level, turning our FVG area into an IFVG area. In this section, the FVG area is a 3-candle pattern, where the high or low of the first candle corresponds to the high or low of the third candle. IFVG forms when FVG breaks. FVG is an FVG level formed, and the price broke down through it, turning it into an IFVG. The FVG is a 3-candle pattern where the first candle's high or low is separated from the third's. A gap forms in the second candle, known as the FVG gap. After breaking, a gap forms. An FVG boundary forms. AFVG boundaries may act as future support. An IFVG is identified, and when the price returns, it moves upward. Settings under Input offer options. Enable or disable all FVGs and IFVGs. Disabling shows only recent ones on the chart. A resistance is here, and we see this level drawn. When the price hits this level, it drops. An IFVG is here, and when the price returns, it rises. Options are available. You can toggle the show of all FVGs and IFVGs, disable to only show recent FVGs and IFVGs. You can set the duration for FVG and IFVG limits, set to 500 candles. After this, it is invalid. In the Input section, options are available. You can enable or disable the display of all FVGs and IFVGs. Disabling shows only the most recent ones on the chart. Set the validity period for FVG and IFVG boundaries. Default is 500 candles. After this, they are invalid. Choose the theme mode. Default is light. If your chart is light, selecting light applies a light theme. Selecting dark applies a dark theme. In the next section, you can set the validity period of the FWG and IFWG limits, which are set to 500 candles by default, and after this limit, they will be considered invalid and invalid. In the next section, you can choose the theme mode, which is set to light by default. If your chart is in light mode, selecting the light option will apply a light theme for the indicator on the chart. Conversely, if you select the dark option, a dark theme for the indicator will be applied to the chart. In the next section, you can enable or disable the display of bearish FVGs here. You can also choose the color and enable or disable the display of bullish FVG and IFVG boundaries in this section. You can choose the color, and in this section, you can enable or disable the display of bullish FVG and IFVG boundaries. You can choose the color, and you can select the mitigation level IFVG in this section, which is divided into 3 states: proximal, 50% OB, and distal. By selecting the proximal option, it considers the closest level to the price, and when the price hits the closest IFVG level, that range is identified as mitigation and refined. The closest IFVG is mitigation at the lower level. The 50% option considers the 50% IFVG, identifying mitigation at 50% level. Distal considers the farthest level, identifying mitigation at the farthest level. 50% OB, 50% IFVG range, mitigation at 50% IFVG, distal farthest. When the price hits the 50% IFVG level, it is identified as mitigation. Toggle the FVG filter, default active, choose from 4 states, very aggressive, aggressive, defensive, and very defensive. For bullish, FVGs, last candle price, middle candle price. For bearish, FVGs, last candle price, middle candle price. In the next section, you can toggle the default active FVG filter. Choose from 4 states: very aggressive, aggressive, defensive, very defensive. For bullish FVGs, in very aggressive, last candle price, middle candle price. For bearish FVGs, last candle price, middle candle price. In aggressive, add middle candle size, not small, more FVGs. For very aggressive, bullish FVGs, the last candle's price must exceed the middle's. For bearish, it must be lower. The aggressive option adds that the middle candle shouldn't be small, increasing FVGs. The defensive option requires a large, mostly body middle candle, plus very aggressive conditions. Bullish FVGs need the second and third candles bullish. Bearish need them bearish. Aggressive, middle candle not small, more FVGs. Defensive, large middle candle, filters FVGs. Bullish, second, third candles bullish. Bearish, both bearish. Very aggressive, first, third candles not small, top FVGs. Select defensive mode. Middle candle must be large, mostly body. For bullish FVGs, second and third candles bullish. For bearish, they bearish. Filters out many FVGs, leaving high quality ones. Very aggressive, first and third candles not small, like doji. Filters out many FVGs, leaving highest quality. Defensive mode default. Name alerts. Activate deactivate alerts for price hits at FVG level. Active by default. Alerts sent when price reaches FVG level. Only high quality FVGs remain. Select very aggressive. With defensive conditions, first and third candles should not be small, like doji. Only highest quality FVGs remain. Defensive mode is default. Next, choose a name for alerts. Activate deactivate alerts for price hitting FVG level. Active by default. Price reaching FVG level sends alert. Next, choose message frequency. All, once per bar, once per close. Select all to receive all alerts. The remaining ones are set to the default defensive mode. In the next section, you can choose a name for your alerts. Here you can activate or deactivate alerts for when the price hits and mitigates at the FVG level, which is set to active by default. When the price reaches the FVG level, an alert will be sent to you. In the next section, you can choose the frequency of your messages, which is set to all, once per bar and once per close. By selecting the all option, you will receive alerts in all cases. By selecting the once per bar option, you will be sent a notification while the price has reached the mitigation level and the candle is still active. And by selecting the per bar close option, you will be sent a notification only if the candle closes and closes. In the next section, you can set your time zone, which you can select based on UTC, and then click OK. Alright friends, we've reached the end of this indicator tutorial. We would be happy if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section.